Well, the European Council reached a very bad agreement, a very bad deal in December in the last meeting concerning the Multiannual Financial Framework. The Multiannual Financial Framework is the European budget for the next 7-year period, 2014-2020. This deal reduced the budget by a huge amount in comparison to the initial proposal coming from the Commission last year. The most important chapters that has been reduced are innovation, research and digital infrastructures. This makes no sense at all because these are the most important pillars for the economic recovery. Concerning the structural funds and the cohesion policy, this chapter is more or less the same than in the Commission proposal, but at the same time, if you go inside the different headings of the chapter of the structural funds, you can see that the cohesion fund, for example, has been reduced, and the European Social Fund has the same amount of money in the previous period, but at the same time more tasks have been charged to the ESF, and so we have more tasks and more objectives with the same amount of money. The sense of this intervention coming from the European Council and from the Member States is that there is a paradox. At the same time they want to increase economic recovery, they want to support growth, but they are reducing the budget, and so they don't have for the future the means and the tools to try to tackle the current unemployment and economic crisis situation. Fortunately, the European Parliament announced in the last resolution adopted in Strasbourg in February that they will reject the budget if the Council won't be available to start negotiations with between the Council, the Commission and the European Parliament to try to change the current budget, and we as the ETUC obviously support this attempt coming from the Parliament to try to make the budget better. First of all, obviously, we want to increase the budget, notably the headings and the chapters that are referring to the European social dimension. So the European Social Fund, for example, but also the European Globalization Fund that should tackle the restructuring processes and the globalization's effects into the companies. At the same time, we want also to delete the so-called macroeconomic conditionalities from the regulation for the multi-annual financial frameworks. Macroeconomic conditionalities means that for one member state that doesn't apply the conditions stated by the fiscal compact concerning the deficit or the debt, for example, the structural funds for this member state will withdraw. So a double damage for the same member state. We want to delete at all this kind of conditionalities. The third point is that we want to introduce the qualified majority voting principle. This is also a request coming from the Parliament. This is very important because at the moment this bad deal has been reached because the fact that 7 countries, the countries of austerity, Germany, UK and so on, are imposing to the other countries through the unanimity within the votations their point of view to the others. And so we want to delete this condition, and the last point is that we want to strengthen the partnership principle for social partners, the involvement of the social partners in all the steps of programming, implementing and monitoring the European structural funds use in the new budget. Well, the European Social Fund is the most important tool we have to tackle the social dimension in Europe. In the new program, the European Social Fund will be strongly linked to the priorities stated in the EU 2020 strategy. So employability, labour mobility, education and training, and all the jobs linked to innovation and sustainable growth. We agree with these priorities, but we think that the Commission should have the power to impose compulsory priorities to the member states, and also to avoid the member states as the possibility to shift money from the ESF to the other funds. Concerning the young initiatives, we have a lot of young initiatives within the new MFF, notably the youth guarantee, but not only the youth guarantee. We think that the resources are not enough to support this kind of initiatives. These initiatives could also be positive, but at the same time, without economic recovery, we can't create jobs, and so also these initiatives can't be effective in the current situation.